everybody. My name is Hannah Walker, and I'm here today to share a little bit about what I do in one of my small shops, and that is t-shirt dyeing. So this all started when I shared a video to my Instagram stories. When I was dyeing about 300 shirts, I had about 300 orders. So I was dyeing in bulk, and I posted a video of a comparison, which I will share here. I posted a video of a comparison of a couple shirts that came out of that dye bath, and I had so many, like, instantly other small shops asking me how I do it. So this is to answer your questions. So when I was first starting out dyeing my own t-shirts, I'm somebody who likes to do a lot of research before I start something, and I could not find what I was looking for. All I could find regarding using the Rit Dye, which is what a lot of people use, is like somebody dyeing an old dress or a pair of jeans or something like that, and that wasn't relevant to me. I needed big amounts. I basically needed to see somebody else do what I was going to do, and that wasn't there. That doesn't exist that I know of. So I'm creating it. So first thing, I'm going to share the video that I shared to my stories back then of the dye comparison, because I think it's important that you realize that this is a hand-done process. Actually, it's washer done, but you're not a professional. So you're going to have variations in dye, and that's totally normal. And so I'm going to show you that comparison now.
Hey guys, so this is draining right now, but I wanted to show you before it rinses. So these are all dyed in the same batch. I wanted to show you the color differences. So this is one of the kids' shirts, and this is an adult shirt. Hang on, it's soaking wet. But you can see maybe next to each other. It's not super noticeable in the video, but just the difference between the two. Like, it's the same dye bath, but they just look different. So if you order more than one and they like aren't the exact same, it's because it's a hand-dyed process. I'm not like a big, like, I'm washing it in my personal washing machine. So anyway, just want to show you guys that.
So as you can see, there's a little bit of a difference, and I think it's important to note that because, you know, the first shirt that you put into the dye bath is going to be a little bit more pigmented than the last shirt that you put into the dye bath, just because it soaks up more. There's differences in quantities of, like, the fabric makeup of the shirt. So 100% cotton is different than, you know, an 80-20 blend or something like that. So yeah, just know that there will be variations, and that's okay. Okay, so now onto the video of me dyeing. I want to note that, as I said, this is when I was bulk dyeing. So I wanted to dye as many as I possibly could at once. You may not need to do that. So if you're just wanting to do like a washer load, leave out the tub part of it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Or you can just do a tub part, and I'll leave instructions on the different options. But basically, you're going to find a method that works for you, but this is just how I do it. And this would have been very helpful to me when I was starting. So I hope it's helpful to somebody else. Alright, so I didn't video this part, but you'll start by filling up your pots and get them going on the stove. They don't all need to boil, but they need to get really, really hot. Even on the hottest setting, my washer still adds quite a bit of cold water to the mix, so I fill up a large tub of the hottest water I can get from my kitchen sink and dump that in to get started. After I've dumped in the water, I start the washer to begin adding the shirts in. It's important that they're all totally wet before added to the dye bath to prevent uneven absorption. Once they're in, let it run for a bit to get water on them, and then I return to the sink to fill up my tub with hot water again. Next up, I remove the shirts from the washer and squeeze the water out. I put them on a towel on the floor in front of the washer, and then I pause or stop the washer at this point. Next, add your dyes to the washer. Once your dyes are in, grab your pots from the stove that should be very hot or even boiling and dump them. I use oven mitts if I need to. Okay, if you are also going to do a tub bath, this is when you want to go and refill your pots and put them back on the stove to begin warming a batch for the tub. Take your tub back to the kitchen and fill it with salt. Alright, back at the washer, start adding your shirts. Use a mixing spoon to push them down into the bath and try to add them pretty quickly. My water is hot, but not too hot to touch briefly, but just use your best judgment with the temperature of your water. Once all your shirts are in, let your washer continue filling on the hottest and heaviest setting, so the heavier setting will create more agitation. Mine adds cold even though it's on a hot setting, but it actually works out because it brings it to a temperature that I'm able to bear sticking my arm and hand in to mix them around a little bit. Soak your shirts in the kitchen sink while the water boils on the stove for the new bath and the washer agitates the shirts in that bath. Add your dyes to the tub and mix well. Once the water is hot, pour it into the tub. Next, add your shirts and make a note of the time once they're all in. Alright, so I usually let the tub shirts go for about 10 minutes. And then I take my big tub, which you may or may not need help with depending on how much you've got, and I dump them into the washer dye bath. I then let them go for about 25 minutes from the start of when I got all of the shirts in the tub. So the shirts in the washer will end up actually going about 10 minutes longer than the shirts in the tub. After all of your water from the dye bath has drained in the rinse cycle, you will basically just start the washer over. Make sure you add in some detergent. I usually start it on a warm setting, just kind of a normal setting. And then after they're done, you'll dry them, and that's it. All right, that's it. I hope you found this helpful. As I said, this is when I'm processing a bunch of teas at once. If you're only needing to process like 3 to 4 pounds of fabric, that's when I use just the tub. If you're needing like 5 to 6 pounds of fabric, that's when I use the washer. So I will create a video about this later, but if you're doing just the tub bath, you'll let the shirts go for the full 20, 30, whatever minutes, however pigmented you want your shirts, and then you'll dump them in the kitchen sink and you'll rinse them well in the kitchen sink with cold water until the shirts, until you can't really squeeze much pigmentation out of them, and then you'll throw them in your washer for just a regular wash cycle. You can also do just the washer dye bath and forget about the tub. Same deal whenever it's done dyeing, whenever that water's gone, toss in some detergent, start it over, and you're done. I always suggest to try to do a test dye of like 2 shirts on the stove in a pot to test your formula, and then you just, it's just simple math to convert that formula into your larger quantities. If you're somebody like me who likes to see all of this written down to reference quickly, I will link my blog post here. It's got some tips on converting your formulas, and as well as a list of all of my supplies that I use. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.